All right, let's do it, Zach. It is Monday. Oh, dude, I have no energy today. All right, Monday, November 2nd. Welcome everyone to Living Room Sports Talk. Here, Macaulay, Zach Rothenberg. This is a hell of a way for me to get started, right, with our audience that's joining us for the first time tonight on YouTube Live, which is exciting. Zach, we got to welcome them in, and obviously we still got a new audience coming in from Facebook Live. So this is exciting, though. We got a little new action. Obviously, it's nice to see everyone from the Twitch action too. So, all right. Here we are. Week 8 is in the books, basically. Why did I say week 9 in these recaps? I got to fix this in the title. Jeez, I'm better than this, Zach.
Oh, I see week 8.
Did you see week 8? Oh, whatever. We're good. Let's keep rolling. All right. We got Trust already cooking in the chat here. All right, let's go. Living Room Sports Talk here. Kieran Macaulay, Zach Rothenberg. All right. It's, like I said, it's November 2nd. I'm always kind of refreshing this show, just kind of, give it a little reboot. All right, so Zach, football's in the books. You can tell I'm not myself when the Packers lose, and you can see first of all I'm wearing blue because I'm feeling blue. And here we are. We got always your number one fan in the chat too. But we're rocking and rolling here, and dude, I'm not okay. I'm not okay, and I actually have a lot of blood boiling right now, and I'm gonna get to that in a little bit later in the show. But all right, we got to go through the recaps of week 8. A lot of eventful games, right? And we had a lot of meaningful games too. Went out here in the Northeast tonight, Zach.
Yeah, it's like blistering out there with the wind too. Oh my God!
It felt like January a little bit, didn't it?
It did. It really did. Last night I could see my breath in the air. It's not a good sign.
And the thing is, you're a good sport here. I'm rambling on for the first 4 or 5 minutes of the show. Also, my bad for being 20 minutes late here. I'm all over the place right now. But you got your Giants jersey on. Your boys are playing Monday Night Football. That was the other part of what we got cooking for the show tonight, right? We obviously got our recaps, but we also got the preview for Monday Night Football. So, yeah, you guys just smile. Come on, smile. You can do this.
I don't know. I like I said before we started the show, I got my clown outfit on still from Saturday. Wearing my jersey, wearing my my team uniform that I know is probably going to get slaughtered tonight, but I'm hoping not, obviously. But
I think I know who they're going to cover.
I like that for sure. Yeah.
But I think we like the reasoning too in the article.
I did. Yeah, I thought it was good.
We'll get to that a little bit later when we preview the show towards the end of the podcast tonight. But all right, like we always do, and we'll kind of walk it in for all our new audience that's either on Facebook or YouTube. So we usually start our show with a little segment called Clickbait Cleanup, where we find either tweets or articles or posts out there on the old internet that are just meant to get clicks, hence the clickbait. Yeah. And we're cleaning it up. Very exactly, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they can figure out the play on the words, but
we're like the watch for clickbait.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
on the watch. So, all right, but to that point, you want to get things kicked off? Yeah,
let's do it. So ESPN posted on Instagram, and I think they did on Facebook, all their social media. It was a picture of LeBron wearing a Seattle Seahawks uniform with the pads and everything and looking all jacked up. And it was basically, they were saying DK Metcalf earned the nickname Baby Bron from LeBron James. First off, this is typical clickbait because when you see a picture of LeBron wearing a Seattle Seahawks uniform and the pads and everything, you would think, oh, wow, what, LeBron football playing? But no, it's not remotely even close to that. It's just him saying that DK is apparently Baby Bron, whatever that's supposed to mean. So it's just nonsense. And like I said, the picture's there just to make people think, oh, LeBron, football. Wow, is he going to play? No. Oh, that's totally different. Never mind. Okay. So basic clickbait. It's another way for LeBron to poke his head out in the media to try to get attention. So,
yeah. You're right. You're always right. So I was just tweeting this out too a little bit there. Dude, you're so right. It drives me nuts. And here's the other thing, right? Like what is it? It's just junk for the brain. Like, right? Like what kind of substance is that? It's like candy, but it's not. It doesn't taste good. It's like Milk Duds.
We have a chat. We have a chat on
Facebook. Caramel candy. Well, I'm trying to think of like a candy I hate, like a Payday, peanut butter and caramel. Sorry.
We have a chat on Facebook from Lauren Eller. It says the Giants look subpar this year.
Oh, I like that.
They absolutely do. So, you know what, Lauren? Subpar is actually very nice. I appreciate you saying subpar because you could say a lot worse. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Well, it's funny. I feel like the Packers defense is subpar right now. That's where I'm at right now. That's even a compliment right now, to be honest. But all right, let me ask you this. So We will go with the recaps first. Well, I guess I'll do my clickbait real quick. So I feel like I'm going to alienate some Philadelphia fans here, and I don't mean to be. So let me throw it out there. And I know I like the little I don't know if you're kind of grinning. Yeah, I see the smile in there. You know where I'm going with this. Look, all right. So there's always this running joke, right? Like that Philadelphia likes to be the bad boy, right? As the fans, if you will. And they sometimes wear the persona that no one likes them. They don't care. I also hear a good bit that they don't like it that Joe Buck apparently doesn't like him, which I don't necessarily agree with that, but it's all right. That's my own personal opinion. People respectfully can disagree. Nevertheless, okay, I'll even just pretend to side with him for the sake of the argument, right? Like, okay, fine. If he doesn't like you, basically the point, right, that people bring up the snowballs and Santa Claus, and once again, I also think that's kind of malarkey. But the funny thing, it's just my point being, it's the principle, right? Like if you don't like being the bad boy, and right, like because right, you hear it all the time on sports talk stations. Everyone like doesn't think they get the love from this broadcast or this person on ESPN hates him, and that's fine. Like I'm not even disagreeing. I don't think it's fair that snowballs at Santa Claus is brought up because right, it was a guy who was hammered in the stands, right? Like. There's so much that is blown out of proportion. And they're right. You see it on Twitter when there's a fight in LA, no one talks about it. There's a fight in Philly. Oh, it's all over the place. But if you're the bad boy gets in trouble for the things usually the good kids might not get in trouble for, right, in high school. Mm-hmm. If your shirt's untucked at Shanahan, Zach, you might get away with it if you're in student council.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. That's just my thought.
Analogy right there. Your shirt's tucked. That's great. And Jamie in the chat as well says the Pack D is beyond subpar.
I know it is. I know. You know what? So let's jump into those week 9 or week. Why do I keep thinking it's week 8? Dude, it's because I'm thinking about week 9 already on Thursday. Like that's how I got some Mojo, but it's not the good one for Mojo Monday. But to that point, like I said, we got great shows. So we just did clickbait. We'll do Mojo Monday as well a little bit later. All right, so I want to get a little running start. We'll do like 1 or 2 recaps, maybe 3, and then I need to loosen up and get ready for this one.
Yeah.
All right, but let's start with some NFC East chatter, right? So Eagles and Cowboys played last night. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it was the most exciting game in the world, right? But it ends at 23-9.
Yeah.
Eagles get the win, and they needed that one, especially when they were – and it's funny because my dad even said when they had that tie, I was like, oh, my God, you can't tie the Bengals. Basically, right now you have like a stroke lead, and now it's a stroke and a half. Well, no, I guess it's a half stroke now. You know what I mean? And then great. I'm sounding like an idiot right now, but
yeah, no, that's
a big win for them. That's a big win.
Yeah, that tie is proving to be pretty important, I think, with this division. You know, I think Washington is their best competition at this point in time. Obviously, I wish it was the Giants, but you know how that goes at this rate. So
that defense looked great.
It was one of those deals. Yeah, it was one of those deals where it was an ugly win, but who cares? A win's a win. They need it, So and that's 3-4-1 isn't looking too shabby right now.
Yeah, and Jalen Reagor involved was a good. I mean, yeah. I mean, look here. So I got a couple thoughts. There's good and there's bad, right? So defense was good. Defense was great.
Yeah.
Travis Bowen was great. I mean, you can see in the highlights right now. He was phenomenal. And they really found a star with him. And Dallas is in rough shape, dude. They suck. But the other thing I'll say with the Eagles, Carson Wentz with 2 picks. He doesn't look good. And obviously you look at right now with the defense and that play at the end. But this game was close. I mean, I don't know if Ben DiNucci exactly had a great game, but it's
they were just
sorry, make your points. I didn't mean to just cut you off.
I was gonna say with DiNucci, I think they just weren't in sync. I mean, what do you expect from a third string? He had a great college career. I'm not downplaying his career, but he just doesn't get that much time with the number one, rotation, obviously. So you could tell there was a lot of things weren't clicking. He favored Michael Gallup a lot. That was about it, but
So let me dive into a deeper level too with this. So what are the takeaways from this game? Right, like I mean, I know like Sox, like, and I get they also have some injuries and et cetera, but they're done, right?
Yeah, they're done for sure. I think even with Dalton comes back. I mean, Andy Dalton, we saw how well he played,
right?
Before he got hurt, so yeah, they're done.
And then I feel like Mike McCarthy's not going to get fired because of how much they flourished, or Dak flourished, I should say, and that you can fire a Nolan, revamp your defense. They'll probably just draft the hell out of their defense, and they move on from there, but. So, all right, where are you with this Eagles team? They're winning. See, here's the thing, right? We always talk about this. We talked about it all summer, and I wish I had a clipboard right now. this team finds ways to grind out wins, and even if the division's not good, they find ways to win, and that's why Doug Peterson's such a good coach at the end of the day. And look, when I say the word coach, I like right because 1 week we're questioning maybe why I didn't do this, why I didn't do that. They find ways to just get through the season, get through their schedule, and get to a playoff game, and that's what it is, right?
Yeah, no, that's it. You're exactly right. And guess what? I mean, the team's going to start to get healthy too. They're going into a bye week. Everyone's going to freshen up, recover. We saw Dallas Goedert was back last night. Alshon Jeffrey, I would imagine, would be back after the bye week. That's going to be a huge plus for them with his, just how big he is and great of a target he is, So, yeah, no, I think the Eagles are a team that's 3-4-1. If you want to call it hitting their stride, they're basically poised to make a run. I think in this second half of the season because of their health too.
Well, so I think it gets interesting, and I'm going to save this little pep talk for you for maybe later on in the show. And by the way, I love what Cole was saying in the chat. That's great. I mean, did you see that with his Twitter was a little?
No, I didn't see that.
He's yeah. Well, it was interesting. Go on the internet. You can take a look at it. But to that point, yeah. So the other thing I take with this team is right. They play the Giants next, and that's the little pep talk thing I was going to say. So if they win this game, then they start stacking up those division wins, and then the only team I think that might stop them is Washington, which I don't think is going to happen. I think what we're seeing is the Eagles are like I said, starting to move in that right direction with. I guess, right, a lot of them might be questioning, but like, what are you talking about here? Like, what's the end game, right? Like, are they going to win playoff games? I don't know. But we always talk about is just get in there, and then we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah.
I think Washington's good. Oh, not good, but I think they're going to maybe be better out of this bye. And then to that point that the Giants, if they win tonight, this is what I was trying to get at. Sorry. If the Giants win tonight, you're kind of back. Like, it's you can redo what happened on Thursday.
Yeah, this is what's crazy. It's like we're 1-6 and we're still there's still a chance. If somehow we can win tonight, there's still a chance if we can take that momentum in, get to the Eagles their next game.
And here's the thing too, because I think if you're a Giants fan, what you want is Dave Gettleman to get fired. That's the ultimate end game for this season. Because not to be that guy, you're probably not going anywhere regardless, even if you did somehow get back in the division race. But at the same point, if you're an Eagles fan, right, you're getting healthier, and Doug Peterson said that today in his press conference. That's true, right? They're getting healthier. If they beat you guys next week, then they really are right in the driver's seat, I think.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, I mean like have a big old grin, like, well, what do you think, Zach?
Completely, yeah. I mean, this is the Eagles' division to lose, I think, at this point in time. I think, like you said, Washington, unless the Giants pull off a miracle tonight, this is between Washington and Philadelphia for sure.
I love what Joe's saying in the chat too. Sign that man to extension. Yeah, Travis Fulgham is.
Yeah, I feel like the Eagles do have a good I feel like they produce depth and good depth of talent as we've seen over the couple of years with the injuries. I mean, I will give them that. I think it's pretty impressive. As much as some fans will bash and joke about it, like they have produced some talent from the practice squad or undrafted.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
All right, but do you want to go to a team that has not had a lot? There's always highlights I caught up, and I think we got to do it. And I start thinking when we kind of not that I really spent a whole lot of time putting the games in some type of order. They usually kind of just click in their own little special way in my head. But this one's always oh God, you can't put this anywhere and make it sound interesting. So the Chiefs rolled. That's kind of what the big takeaway here was, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wasn't really close. Although, I mean, to be fair, the Jets did kind of keep it close a little bit in the first half until the last minute.
It was 14-9, I think, in the beginning of the second quarter.
Yeah.
For whatever that means. But my takeaway is this, is the Chiefs' defense isn't great. They're not horrible, though. And if Adam Gase is really this offensive genius, come on. You should be able to do something better than what he did. I mean, I know his talent might not be there, but good coach brings out the best in his players, and he's clearly not a good coach. So
you still try. Was this a little sarcasm or not sarcasm in that part? But you mean because duh, dude, he sucks. I was
gonna say if he's really an offensive genius, yeah.
No. I mean, we all know Adam Gase is he is toast.
Yeah, just look at him, man. Look at his press conferences. All
bug eyes, woo.
Yeah, not good.
Creepy.
What's going on there? Yeah.
All right, so let me throw some stats. So, what do you think, real quick, of Sam Darnold? right? He went 18 for 30, 133 yards. Is it over for him?
Yeah, he's
a part of the blowing. Like he's going down with the geese ship, or is there one more? Maybe one more guy can get through to him. Like he's got the Sam Bradford one last chance, like the cat with 9 lives type of feel.
Nah, nope, not in my opinion. No, I think if Trevor Lawrence is willing to be on the Jets, I think you got to go Trevor Lawrence and just blow it all up and basically build the team around him and whatever he wants and whatever scheme he'd like. Do anything you can to please him. So this is just they're too far gone. Unless somehow they can put a couple wins together, I don't know, but I don't see that happening.
No, I don't either.
They could very well go 0-16.
Mahomes was also, he went off to say the least. Knowing him as my fantasy guy right now, 31 for 42, 412 yards with 5 touchdowns and 41 fantasy points. So thanks, Pat. I really appreciate that. I don't think there's a whole lot, but I will say, just to be fair, right? Because if the Chiefs were to lose this game, we'd be like, well, I get it. Maybe they just took them lightly. It's one of those weird games. I don't know. Like, they didn't. They took care of business. They covered the spread. Not that I bet on it, but I'm just saying, right? Like they did their thing. Like, right? They gave them a good old butt kicking.
Yeah. No, they did. They did their job. They did what they were supposed to do. So,
all right. And speaking of teams that pulled away, the old Colts. That was our lock. If you saw our bonus show, and if not, you can check back. It's in the archives. But the Colts looked pretty good yesterday. Albeit they really and to be fair, pulling away on the road in the fourth quarter, they look good.
Yeah, they did. They had that pick 6. I believe it was towards the end of the third quarter, early fourth. That really just kind of separated it, and then they just kind of ran with it from there. All 3 running back. Well, Jonathan Taylor didn't have the best game, and it came out today that he has an ankle injury apparently. But Wilkins and Hines, like they blew it up, man. That one touchdown Hines scored was just extremely athletic and amazing. And I really do think that Phillip Rivers is finding his footing now in Indianapolis. 3 touchdowns, no turnovers yesterday, 262 yards. So good for them.
You love you some Phillip Rivers.
I do. I'm still stuck in that 2004 draft class. So,
it's all right.
I got Manning jerseys right back here. So,
and let's spin it to Detroit for a minute. It's like they are who we thought they were. But I heard Peter Schrager say it, I think it was on Friday last week on Good Morning Football, saying like, are they the same old Lions? Because if they lose this game, they're the same old Lions. And they are, I think, right? They're 3-4. They were feeling good about themselves. You're at home. That's a game. If you're a good team, you win that game.
Yeah. I think
you don't lose by 20.
I think it's a Matt Patricia issue.
Yeah, I think you're right. They got a big game though next week. Now they're 3-4. They're playing the Vikings. They're 2-5.
That's a big game.
Let's do it.
Did you see that the Lions' leading rusher? You know how many yards he had?
No, I didn't.
11 yards.
Are you kidding me?
Agnew, 11 yards rushing. That was their leading rusher that game. The Colts defense is good, but still, like 11 yards, that's your leading rusher. I guess I can't say much because Saquon had, I think, 2 in one game this year. So,
well, you should have just played us because the Packers would have let you just walk right straight through the lane.
All
right, to that point, I was talking about the Lions and that being a big game. The reason why, well, sort of, it's almost like that scene in Batman. The second one with Heath Ledger where they break the pool table stick and he's like, we're having tryouts, right?
Yeah.
That's basically what's going on with the Lions and Vikings, right? Because the Lions lose that game. You're 3-5. They're 3-5. They're kind of in front of you at the time. Like you're now in last place. Like you're not getting out of that.
No. Yeah, you're gonna get stuck there.
Yeah. Now I'm pretty sure I can use in Minnesota too. So yeah, it definitely is. That's a tough
big game
for them. Yeah. And you know why? Because the Vikings feel good about themselves today, Zach.
Oh, do they? I didn't know.
Dude, how many texts did I send you this morning?
A lot. It was all right.
Dude, it was more than a lot. A lot's like 6 or 7. It was like 30. Not 30, but it was probably close to like right around 20.
Yeah, you need therapy. You need that therapy, though, to let it out. So,
all right. Well, to that point, do you mind if I do the vocal therapy now?
Take it.
So this game bothered me on a lot of different levels, and I'll I mean, where do you want me to start? I mean, I sent you like 16 things. I mean, I guess I'll just start at the beginning, at the core, right? So the core is Dalvin Cook torched them, worse than me, like around a campfire with, s'mores or whatever. I know. I'm looking at Cole in the chat. This is 100% on me. I didn't do a third down snap. Do you know what? To that point, I'm going to actually point that out. Zach, I didn't do a third down snap. I didn't hike at Valley Forge. Emily and I didn't hike at Valley Forge, I should say. I mean, it was – I didn't do the brats because it was a home game. It was bad. All right, let me real quick just get to this point because as I keep rolling this highlight of Dalvin Cook, I want to throw up. Okay. Big win for the Vikings, first of all. Let's just talk about that. They played well. They hung in there. Right, they took a punch in the face. Packers put like a 7-minute drive together. They went right back down. They tied it up. Packers did the exact same thing. They went right back down and tied it up. I'll say this. Before, you know what? I got a lot of emotions firing right now. So before this, we had a show yesterday. Mm-hmm. Some things were said.
Yeah.
Do you want me to remind everyone that this game was not going to be easy? Right, and I said – we're going to find out, if you can handle this moment. And you knew the Vikings were going to come in and throw lock, stock, and barrel. I'm not going to use the words now for them. I'll play. If you missed the show yesterday, here's what was going on. I think personally, this is going to be one of those games where they throw punches kind of early, just a few, like a haymaker here, a haymaker there, right? Like Jamal Williams runs free for like 30 yards, and we end up scoring with like Adams or something like that. But then they go down and Thielen has like a 60-yard touchdown. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. And it's like, and we danced, like that kind of moment. It's like, are we going to get that 3rd and 9 to keep the foot on the gas and keep it going? If they don't, then we're going to get locked in one of these types of games where it's like 23-21, and then it's just like, is Mason Crosby going to hit the field goal and make it 24-23? Is he going to miss it? And then we'll be like all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, and this is the Vikings' last gasp for air.
Yeah, they need this. This is their most important game of the season. If they have any shot, which it's very hard for a 1-5 team to have any shot, but if they have any shot at doing anything this rest of the season, they got to win today.
All right, so where I was wrong was I said the 60-yard touchdown to Adam Thielen was Dalvin Cook. Talk about dancing on the grave. Jesus, I mean, you saw the highlights. It was bad. It wasn't good. It was their Super Bowl for the Vikings. All right, let me try to get the emotion out of it and actually be a man right here and say something. Because I'm upset. I'm upset. And the reason why, right, I'm not trying to be moody. I'm not trying to be over-emotional. And you understand why I'm pissed off today. And it's funny because I was joking around saying, if there's ever a time I go on a rant on this show and probably curse, it's probably me now. This game bothered me at a level that's deep. I said it to you. I said it to Beltran. I said it to the Joes. Here's the problem. The defense is not there. It's not there. They don't stop the run. And when you actually stop, right, and people say, oh, Kieran, you're overreacting. Am I? Okay, so let's see. They've lost 6 games with Matt LaFleur as their coach. And I'm not blaming LaFleur per se. I'm just saying under this umbrella. So you want to say Mike Pettin, whatever, right? The last 6 games the last 6 games they've lost, which happened. I need a sip of water before I jump into this. Get ready. All right, Packers fans, here we go. This is how bad it's been. In the 6 games that we've lost under LaFleur, we've given up 2+ rushing touchdowns in every single game except one. We've given up rushing touchdown in all 6 games, but 2+. You want to guess how many we've given up in 6 games that we've lost?
Oh, maybe 18?
Wow, everyone's going high. It's only 13. The dramatics.
Okay.
That's all right. Still 13's a lot. I mean, when you really think about it, it's over 2 a game. So, I mean, yeah, that's actually quite horrible. So, I mean, they don't tackle. They had 11 missed tackles yesterday. They're not going to – and here, let me scale back. Here's the problem, right? I get that they're going to give up some points. They're supposed to bet. I get that's part of the Mike Pettin system. The problem is it's built on getting sacks. It's built on getting pressure more than the sacks. And disrupting the quarterback and getting players off the route with man coverage. Dude, it's like 3rd and 4. They're playing 8 yards off the line of scrimmage, right? And then furthermore, right, they're not tackling. Like I said, it's 11 missed tackles. He preaches the fundamentals. They're not doing that correctly, right? Preston Smith's he's invisible out there. Zadarius Smith's basically invisible out there. Rashawn Gary's been one of the worst running edge rushers. I think he ranked in Pro Football Talk. It was definitely over the top. It was awful. It was like 119 out of 141, I think, if I remember the stat correctly. And I agree with Andy Herman. He had this tweet saying, like, no, Mike Pettin's not getting fired after the game against the Vikings where they lost 28-22. But, dude, if they lose to the 49ers, if they get gashed, you got basically a bye week ahead of you with obviously playing on Thursday night. It's not out of the realm of a possibility. And I know people are probably sitting here like, dude, you're 5-2. Zach, it's the same blueprint. The Eagles did it, right? Last year, that week 4 game. I saw it. I was there. I mean, Jordan Howard is like 7 yards a carry, 7 yards a carry. Like, it's not every game. And that's the thing, because everyone's going to say, oh, man, come on. You're not appreciative of them, right? They're 5-2. You got Aaron Rodgers. It doesn't matter. I saw them lose to San Fran twice last year. It's the same blueprint. And I'll double down. It's not just that, dude. It's whew. I hit the brakes there. First, the only one more thing. They're not getting turnovers, like I said. Like it's not just lack of pressure. And you can even see it. Matt LaFleur saying in the press conference yesterday, they're not getting turnovers. And it's not – I understand if you are built on a team, especially when you have a high-powered offense that will score consistently, right? It makes sense. Look, we just need to get maybe 3 to 5 stops, especially when we get 1 or 2 turnovers. And then you get sacks and set them up in long-range situations. Dude, the funny thing is the numbers mislead. The Vikings were 4 for 8 on third downs. They're 1 for 1 on fourth down, so you got to add that in the equation for getting off the field. 2 pass interference calls, huge. I mean, they did not get off the field on third down until I think it was the 8-minute mark of the fourth quarter. That's horrible. That's so inept. You're not, and the thing is, like, tell me a team that won the Super Bowl that did that one of those games, even in week 8. Like, I'm not saying you have to be where you got to be.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and I'm not one of those guys that jump ship. Look, the reason why I'm exploding is I got the Bucs loss. I understand it happens, right? I was sitting there saying, we're overreacting. It's 4-1. Like, we're all right. It was a bad game. But then when you sit there and you look, you're like, wow, we're losing the exact same way when we do lose. And the type of way we're losing is a way that you're going to see in the playoffs. The blueprint's out, and we still can't find a way. It reminds me of the Sixers a little bit, how they can't beat Toronto. They can't beat the Boston Celtics, right? Sure, you might beat the Bucs on Christmas like they did last year, and it's like, oh, never mind, they're actually pretty good. No, because it's the same kryptonite. It's like Achilles. I was using this analogy earlier with Chad when I was texting him. It's like the Achilles heel. Awesome Warrior, really no weak spot, but if you hit him in the ankle, it's over. It's a wrap, and that's what we are with the run. And I don't understand how much – and I'm not even done. I'll keep going. Look, it's the offense too. Look, now the offense has been great. Alan Lazard is great. Obvious, and look, Aaron Jones is great. I know we didn't have him. I know Jamal. Like, I love our offense. I know I kind of came in hot with that take. But what I'm adding is you got to stop with the relying on MVS, Equinemius St. Brown. Dude, look at the 4th and 10. You got to catch this ball, man. And the third down, they should have converted on this before. Catch the ball and hit you in the hands. I mean, oh, my God. I'm done relying on MVS. I'm done relying on EQ. Like, right, even Darius Shepard has actually played all right this year, and Malik Taylor's played all right. But basically, my point is it's something's not there, right? Like, and I'm not – it's not the problem, right? It's not the problem at all. I guess my point is you gotta find a way to keep going with this offense. So, I mean, it's not enough. When you hit these drives where they get stalled, when you're trying to throw it to MVS or you're trying to throw it to EQ, you can't have those drops, right? I mean, the tight ends have been great. Jason's been great. Bob Tonyan's been great, but it's not good enough. And it's all on Underkirk because the defense has been the problem, and it still is the problem. That's like I said, the number one thing. But, dude, at what point do you – I mean, you see how pissed off – and I don't see this changing. That's why I'm angry. What? I mean, please, I'm going to shut up. Maybe take some water, collect myself, whatever. I'm not going to tell you to talk me off the ledge. What do you think?
No, I totally get your frustrations. I mean, I've had similar ones myself in the last several years. The nice thing is, though, is that your division, you are basically in the driver's seat. Your seatbelt's buckled. You're enjoying listening to some Bob Marley on the radio or whatever. That's going to be relaxing. You have a smooth ride to the playoffs in that division.
I'm not listening to Channel 42 on XM. No, Bob Marley station. No, I'm not.
You got your third down playlist on.
But it doesn't matter, man. Like look. This is going to sound bad. We might win the division. I would expect us to win the division, but it doesn't matter. We're not going to win the NFC Championship. You're going to still run into that force, and it doesn't matter if it's Seattle this year. And not to mention, you can't lose these games. If you want the playoffs to run through Lambeau, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but I really think that you need, not that they needed to lose this game, but I think sometimes you need these losses that are, kind of dumb losses to light a fire, more of a fire than before, and hopefully, hopefully propel the team and make sure, they don't make these mistakes again, like the drop passes and the missed tackles and like the fundamental dumb mistakes. I still have faith in them for sure. I was going to ask you, is there a target for the trade? Like the trade deadline?
I don't know. That's the thing. I'm not. It's one of those things, right? You got to talk about the price, right? I'd love to go forward for a 6th-round pick or for a 2nd-round pick. Like, right? Like, I don't know. And that's what's tough. Look, and I'm not jumping ship. I'm basically saying something's got to change, right? It's like, hey, I don't like getting cut for the team. Well, then go work out in the offseason and don't get cut and be conditioned before tryouts. Like, it's that feeling. Something's got to change. Now, let me ask you this. Let's jump in the chat real quick for a second. I want to hear what Amanda 11 was saying here. So it's funny. This is the one point I completely kind of like bypassed. I mean, we talked a little bit about Wentz's picks. What's your confidence? I need to just calm the waters down. Let's get you back in your NFC East waters here for a second. What's your take on Wentz? What do you, I mean, because the turnovers are starting to get a little bit alarming.
Yeah, for sure. Here's the thing. Wentz, yes, the turnovers are obviously bad. Listen, I have a quarterback who's the same way with how he handles the ball when he plays a game, so I get it. But what I will say about Wentz is that he has that playmaking ability to show up when you need him to put the ball in the right spot, to be elusive in the pocket and make something happen. Now, I don't know if I think that is the spark that can win key games for the team. So my take on Wentz is this. He needs to clean it up still. I think he also needs to be a little bit safer when he's running the ball, because every time he runs, he hasn't learned his lesson from the Jadeveon Clowney hit. It seems like he still lunges head first from what I've seen. I think he needs to just be a little bit more careful with the ball, with himself. If he can do that, then he propels himself into, I'd say a top 15 quarterback in the league. But because of turnovers, that's what's holding him back, and it affects the team.
And looking at the chat, too, to the question about is it more Doug, is it more Wentz, I think we'll find out more as Eagles get healthy.
Yeah.
I think –
listen, I'm a Doug Peterson fan.
I don't even know – yeah, I am, too. It's funny. I'm a Carson Wentz fan, too. I think it's been a little bit of every – it's one of those things – it reminds me of my golf game, right? It's if you say, well, what sucks about it? I'd be like, well – 1 minute my driving's off, then the next minute my driving's great, but then my putting's not there, and then in between my mid game's horrible, right? My chipping's bad too, right? That's kind of been the Eagles why their record I feel like has been what it is. There's just been one too many bloopers to balloon the scorecard in the golf analogy, and here they are. But at the same point, they're still not a bad team. That's why they're the number 1 team in the division right now. And I think that it's funny. I don't know why. I just have a weird feeling Washington's still going to win that division. Mm-hmm. I could be wrong. I just think I just had so low of an opinion of Dwayne Haskins. I feel like this bye week they'll reboot with the Alex Smith or Kyle Allen, however they're going to tackle that. I don't know. I just have a weird feeling that something's going to change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No. I think the Washington football team is going to be they're the toughest. They're the biggest challenge for the Eagles, I think. I think, like we said earlier, I think the health of the Eagles is going to be huge for them in the second stretch. And I like what the Facebook chat is saying about he needs to slide and he needs to get rid of the ball, So, yeah, it just comes down. If he can be a little bit more, just be a little bit more protective of the ball and his body, then that's going to help them drastically, I think.
Oh, for sure. Now, all right, let's keep it in the NFC real quick here for a second. All right, so we got Bears and Saints. That was the 4:00 game. My heart was broken watching that. Obviously, it was an interesting game too. First of all, you got to give Nick Foles a little credit there, but a little comeback. It was 23. Well, here's the thing with the Bears, right? How many times do we give them credit when they get them? It's almost like good for you for saving a lot of money. Yeah, but you were in credit card debt and you had to pay off all of it. I don't know. All right, so you see the touchdown. To Mooney there to cut it to 3. Then they kick the field goal, right? And then the Saints, go on to win that thing in overtime with 20 or 35-yard field goal. Sorry. So I don't know what do you think about this matchup? That's kind of what my thoughts are on this. And real quick, look at the chat. What did you think about the Eagles going for on 4th and 3 yesterday?
I missed that. When I didn't see that play. I honestly didn't watch the second half or any of that.
The funny thing is, I was about to say, I'm trying to think if it was one I saw in the first. Was the first half or second? I fell asleep and I had to rewatch the highlights because I was so distraught that my emotions. It's funny when the Packers lose, I go to bed so early because I'm so emotionally drained. I'm just tuckered out.
It was savings times. I was getting tired.
it happens. But yeah, it was a tough game to kind of just stay up for if you're a third party fan.
Yeah, but no, I gotta say this: if the Bears are going to continue to have that pathetic of an offensive line, they need Mitch Trubisky to be the quarterback because Nick Foles is not a runner.
You're joining that cult,
dude. I said I didn't think the Foles thing was ready to begin with. I think Trubisky needs to be the quarterback of the Bears, man. Foles just looks. Listen, I like him, but he looks bad, and it's because of the offensive line, like any quarterback would look. But if you have Trubisky who can at least evade pressure half the time, it gives them a lot more chances to make a play happen, and you're not losing yards. You're not fumbling with a sack. You're not doing stupid crap, So I'm not a Bears fan by any means, but I'm just saying if they really want to take it seriously, they need to A, put Trubisky in, and B, stop running the ball in the middle for 2 yards every play.
Ooh, Zach with the hot take.
Yeah, because
I love that.
The only reason why I'm fiery over this is because I have Allen Robinson for fantasy and I need him to go off. And I was trying to get them. I was telling them to throw the ball. And Nick Foles wasn't.
But that's one of the clearer opinions you're going to see because that means you're an unbiased fan but you're looking for some Christmas there.
Yeah. And the Saints, I'm not impressed either though. Like the Bears are not that good of a team. You should have beat them. If you're the Saints, you should win by more than 3 and not go to overtime. But
and I feel like it doesn't. It's funny because I feel like. It's cool because we'll double down on both these teams because next week New Orleans is at Tampa Bay on Sunday Night Football, and then the Bears go to Tennessee.
Ooh. Well, I tell you what, Tennessee losing 2 in a row, they're going to come out swinging in that game.
I know. Yeah. Doc. Yeah. Egad. Yikes.
Yeah, so the Bears are losing that one. That's the lock. I'm already calling it. I don't care what the spread is. That is the lock of the week next week.
I think you might be right. All right, but speaking of that, so you just mentioned Zach, that was a perfect way to I love what Cole's saying in the chat is a Packers fan. He's all in for the Trubisky switch up. And I don't disagree with him either. I love it. And it's true. I feel like Foles like going with the Eagles. But let me ask you this. So, all right, we'll go to that Tennessee-Cincy game here for a second. So, dude, good for Cincy. I mean, I didn't expect – well, you actually might call it. I was about to say I was the one saying take Tennessee minus 7.5. You're the one saying that you thought the Bengals, were going to maybe hang in there and maybe win the game.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm drinking the Joe Burrow Kool-Aid, man. I mean, I just think he's the guy is, I know they're 2-5-1, but I think he's a winner. He's a gamer, he no turnover, 2 touchdown passes, 249 yards, strong game against a really good defense. And I thought the biggest issue was the Bengals defense, stopping Henry. Yes, he did rush for over 100 yards, but hey, he only gave up 20 points. They only gave up 20 points to the Titans and they were able to put up points. So, hey.
Yeah, I was going to say, so no turnovers.
Yeah,
for the Bengals, which I thought was pretty good. Let's spin it to the Titans here for a second, too. And you're right. And honestly, I can't stress enough how wrong I've been about Joe Burrow. But let me throw this out there about the Titans. You'd think, Titans, great defense. Dude, they have the second fewest sacks. They only have 7 all season. They're the third worst team in third downs. And what's the other stat I have in here? Well, that's it. But it's still pretty bad. That's not good.
Now, for a team who's 5-2, and guess what? The Colts are tied with them for the lead now in the division. They lost. They clearly, they lose to the Steelers, who, how I feel about the Steelers after the article I posted. But
I do. That's a good article, by the way. Check it out on the site.
Nice. Oh, yeah. Titans, they need, like I said, they're going to come out angry next week against the Bears, and I think it's going to be. I think they're going to run all over them, honestly.
I think it's a good litmus test for both teams. Adversity on both sides, coming off a loss. It's not that bad of a trip for Chicago. They can win that game. It's not like some extreme temperature in Tennessee, right? Like, it's a good test for both squads. I'll be interested to see who pulls that out. Tennessee, I feel like I'm with you. If they lose that game, though, then I think you start smacking the panic button, right?
If Tennessee loses, yeah, for sure. 100%.
All right, so I feel like one of the least interesting games of the week. But hey, it was a gritty football game, and what would you expect anywhere out on old Lake Erie, right? The Browns lose at home. They're now 5-3, which we were like, they're 5-2, right? They're 5-3 now. They lost to the Raiders 16-6. Now, granted, albeit it was 6-6 going into the fourth quarter, but obviously kind of like right before the quarter kicked off, Derek Carr found Hunter Renfrow to give him the lead right as the fourth quarter, like I said, kicked off. I mean, good gritty win for the Raiders, and they obviously got an insurance field goal at the end, and they get the win. So they're that team. It's just like, what? Like, they're 4-3 now. What do you take from this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Raiders are they're not like glitzy, glamorous, or a sexy team by any means. But I think with Gruden as their coach, they're just grinding a lot of these wins out, and they're kind of going under the radar a little bit. I mean, 4-3, in that division, it's clearly the Chiefs division, I'd say, obviously, but the Raiders are right there. The Raiders are right there, especially now with the Chargers just doing what the Chargers do. I thought they were going to snap out of that, but they didn't. So yeah, that and the Broncos. The Raiders could sneak up and get a wild card spot.
It's fine. I'm also looking to. I love what Cole was saying in the chat. How the best defense for the Titans is handing Derrick Henry the ball for 50 times and chewing the clock. Are you doing all right? By the way, I know the game's about to start.
Oh, I'm good. I have I have kind of low expectations for tonight. I'm obviously excited to watch.
Do you have it on yet?
Well, no,
Is it in your room?
I don't have a TV in my room, but
all right. I got it. All right, we'll start whipping through.
I have
this
my phone here. I can have it on.
Okay. All right.
But yeah.
All right. So that's no. We're all right. Let's move on. Hey, we got a few more games here. We'll start rolling through it. Ready? Okay. This is one I don't even have highlights for. Rams Dolphins. Right. So we'll work through that. That was a game I actually thought. But didn't I say that on the show that was the lock? The guy go to the Dolphins.
You did. You were all on the Dolphins bus.
It's a hard time to go down there and try to win a game down there. So I don't know. I thought Grant, he was all right. Stat line was okay. But this was more about their special teams. And I mean, he had all right, you know what? I want to blow your mind with some stats. This is actually the most interesting thing. Ready? Allow me. I'll pull the old notebook out. Ready?
Oh boy.
So the Rams, this is talking about game about turnovers, right? So the Rams had 4 turnovers. So that's not good. So that's why they lost. But the Rams had 471 yards. Miami had 145.
Wow.
The Rams had 31 first downs. Miami had 8. Miami won the game 28-17. And like I said, now it's funny because the stats don't tell everything, right? Because there's a 73-yard touchdown return, fumble return for a touchdown. There's a punt return for a touchdown for Miami, right? And they clamped down in the second half. They had a lead. I mean, that's a good win for them.
Yeah, that's a good win over a team that we saw, was dominating in their game from the week before. So big win, and look out for Miami. Especially the Bills are looking a little shaky lately. So look out for Miami.
And speaking of that, let's get to their game real quick. So did they officially dethrone the Patriots? And good God, what an ending. Should we talk about that real quick first? Well, answer that real quick, and then we'll get to it.
Yeah, Cam needs to realize the fundamentals of the game, that if you're running on the left side of the field near the sideline, you have to have the ball in your left hand. So if it does fumble, it goes out of bounds.
I'll never forget. That's one of the first things my dad taught me about when holding a football. He taught me about the 5 points of pressure, and then he taught me about how if you're running towards, always have the ball on the side of your side, like sideline side, if you will.
Exactly.
Good God, they're done, aren't they?
Like I said on yesterday, I don't want to roll out Bill Belichick, but it's starting to look like it a little bit. If they string together a couple more losses, don't be surprised if they throw Stidham in just to see what they got, and so they can learn what to do in their draft.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, his comments were so bizarre today. Did you hear that? It's so funny. The only reason I didn't, it's crazy that it's actually like in a weird way, like a blessing in disguise. We came on late because I was trying to cut the highlights, load them all up and stuff for the show after work. And it was wild because I saw earlier in the day that he had said, Bill Belichick, that is, said on like a radio show, like I'm paraphrasing, but something along the lines of how he, like, what do you want? We only pay Cam Newton $1 million, blah, 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 right? It's just, we had a plan. We sold all out, basically winning these Super Bowls a few years ago. And now we're basically, paying the tax on it.
Yeah.
With a carcass of roster. It was just so not like him to say something like that.
Yeah, because he's usually not that vocal with how he feels like in those situations. So,
and it's funny with Cole saying, like, did he make excuses? Because I agree. Oh, and by the way, I love what the chat's saying too about the weather tonight. So we'll get to that about the Giants game in a second. But yeah, I mean, like, dude, Belichick making some excuse. That's kind of my take. I'm like, you don't say those things. Like, you're not that guy. Like, maybe shiver a little bit. I don't even like the Patriots, but it was just like, woo, like, it just feels a little weird as a football person.
Very strange. Very strange.
So real quick, who do you like in that AFC East race then?
I still think the Bills, but like I said before the season started, the Dolphins are getting a wild card spot this year. So,
yeah, you're right, and you're looking good with that.
Yeah.
And then okay, let's flip over real quick and do. Actually, you want to do one more AFC thing? Let's just do Steelers and Ravens real quick. We'll keep in the AFC. Oh, don't forget, Zach, this was the coolest game ever. All right, so Claypool scores the touchdown, right? And that was a great comeback, right? So the Steelers are 7-0. They were down 17-7 in this game. Claypool scores that touchdown with about 7.5 minutes to go, right? The Ravens have a chance to come back and win the game. Lamar gets stopped, or no, I'm sorry, not Lamar. Dobbins gets stopped, or no, it was Lamar. Gets stopped on that fourth down, right? The Steelers take the lead. They're 7-0. Like I said, they're the only undefeated team in football. Spawn in Pittsburgh. Always spawn in Pittsburgh. But here we are, right?
Yeah, I think Lamar Jackson, I don't know what's going on there. He hasn't been playing up to what everyone expects of him lately. So we'll see. But the Steelers defense is just suffocating, plain and simple, suffocating defense. And, I hate to say it, I think the only thing that is like a slight worry for me on them is Big Ben and some of the decisions he's making. But besides that, they're going for it, man.
Dude, Cole's got a great question in the chat. So he was asking, he said, he saw that the Chiefs have the easiest, like on paper, remaining schedule mathematically. Do they catch the Steelers?
Probably, because the Steelers, that division they're playing in is tough, and the Steelers will most likely probably lose, 2-3 games. I'm thinking 13-3 for the Steelers. So yeah, I think it's very possible, for sure.
Yeah, I think it could be. It's gonna be interesting to see. I need to see how it plays out a little more. I don't think Pittsburgh's the team that hits their stride too early. So that's what's kind of scary about this. They might be pretty damn good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right, but let's go to the NFC real quick. It's talking about a pretty meaningful game, although it really did not. I mean, it's funny that I actually, in a weird way, think the score made it look better than it actually was. But yeah, so DK Metcalf goes off. The 49ers absolutely roll San Fran 20. So it was. The final was 37-27.
Yep.
Or 20. Okay, yeah, that's funny. I have 24 written down in my notes, and I was like, that's not it. But yeah, DK went off. It was never really close. 27-7 at one point in the game, right? I think honestly the biggest takeaways for San Fran is right. Garoppolo got hurt, Kittle got hurt, and he'll be out for
a couple weeks, I think.
For about 8 weeks, yeah, absolutely. So that's my takeaway. I mean, I don't know. I think San Fran, they're on the ropes on Thursday. We'll talk about that obviously a little bit more later in the week with the Packers and 49ers on Thursday Night Football, the rematch of the NFC Championship game. But I think I don't know. I think that I don't know how much we take away from this. I don't know. I think Seattle's good. They always do this, or they win a few games like this.
Yeah, it's the same old. Seattle was playing in Seattle. Seattle's good. The 49ers are on the decline, and now they're banged up, so they're going to be even more on the decline. So that's my takeaway. San Fran, even though they're talented, will probably be the worst team in the NFC West, which is saying a lot for that division. Yeah,
you're right. All right, so let's wrap up the recaps real quick on for Week 8 real quick with the Broncos comeback though. Right there, another what a comeback that was. They're down 24-3. They come back, especially in the fourth quarter. Each QB had a really nice showing with 3 passing TDs each. That's like a tongue twister. Brutal loss for the Chargers, though. By the way, I mean, but
this is becoming a thing with their team.
Dude, and mind you, you're going to see in this highlight tape they lose on the last play of the game. Good God! Yeah, it was the Penn State show. KJ Hamler and Deshaun Hamilton. I'm pretty sure Hamilton scores this touchdown in the highlight film. No, it's the next one. That tied it up, and then Hamler's the one. Yeah, it's right here up the middle of the field.
Hamler won it. Yep.
Yeah, then Hamler with the one where you guys rear him right in the back of the end zone. It was unbelievable. Yeah, this is a huge win for Denver. They stay alive. They're 3-4 now. The Chargers are probably screwed at 2-5. Is Anthony Lynn on the hot seat, by the way? He was the last play of the game, by the way, for anyone watching. So, Drew Lock rolls out to the right and he finds Hamler. And, what a catch, too. But, what do you think? Is Anthony Lynn on the hot seat?
Oh, 100%. Because this has been the thing. This has been the thing for his whole career there as the Chargers coach. Yes, they went 12-4 the one year, which is great. But besides that, what have they done? They've lost a lot of games and games they should have won, like this one. They have such a talented team, and it's a waste. It's a waste right now, and it's really sad.
Dude, it's brutal.
I like Anthony Lynn. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a great person. He has a lot of good philosophy and good culture there, but for some reason they just can't get the job done. And the NFL's a business. You gotta get the job done. So
dude, they're at the Falcons next week, and then the Chargers have the Raiders at home. So that's kind of interesting. A little AFC West action.
So in theory, they could win both those games, but are they?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
All right, so real quick, let's get to it. The Monday Night Football game is about to start. What do you think? We don't even have to dive too much into this. I know you're nervous. We like the Giants as a spread we talked about earlier. Yeah. And I'll run through some stats real quick. The Bucs and the Giants are both 4-3 against the spread for any bettors. And the Giants have covered 3 of the last 4 times out in the game they covered last week. Although your offense has still been abysmal, you're 31st in yards. You're also 31st in points per game. You don't have Hernandez or Devontae Freeman tonight. But the Bucs don't have Chris Godwin, obviously, and I'm sure most people are watching the game too, so they're hearing this on the broadcast. And their defense is pretty damn good. Their number 1 rushing defense, only getting up 66 yards a game. Can you teach me that? Packers fans are saying. They're the only. They're third, in yards per game with 291, and they give up. They got 25 sacks this year, so that's second in the NFL. And Tom Brady is 4-3 against the Giants. Let me throw some other stats at you. The Giants have won 2 of the last 3 against the Bucs, but the last 3 games, they've all been decided by a grand total of 6 points. Obviously, there was a comeback with Daniel Jones last year. There's a lot to chew on with this game, Zach, being the Monday Night Football game. But and Brady's got 15 touchdown passes, 1 interception. Ronald Jones looks good. And Joe Judge and Brady are seeing each other for the first time. So that's all my spiel. That's all the facts. Now get out there and make some sense of this for me.
The only way the Giants can be competitive in this game, obviously the defensive stuff, clearly. Daniel Jones cannot commit a turnover tonight. And in order to do that, we're going to need to see a lot of quick, 2-step slants, quick creative plays. We need to see a lot of creativity from Jason Garrett tonight. If we don't, then he's not a real offensive coordinator, and I will say that right here. So,
that's fair.
Get Jones moving, do some bootlegs or whatever to kind of get away from some pressure. Do some have some creativity tonight, because that's honestly this game. What do the Giants have to lose? So put it all on the table.
Nothing. So the 2 things I'll bring up. So one, Tom Brady's never lost to one win team before. But here's what's also interesting. We talked about this, the Vegas effect, the Joe G effect, right? If you go out and play in Las Vegas, win or lose, especially if you win, you always lose the next week. It's like a hangover. I'm all about the Giants plus 12.5 tonight. I think you guys get the win. Monday Night Football is starting to get a little kicked off here. That's my takeaway. I think that's the pick. I think you take the Giants. I think they might win the game tonight.
Hey, I would love it. I'd love that. Let's go. Big Blue.
Right, real quick, do you want to do a little Mojo Monday?
Yeah, sure. My mojo is going to be, it was Joe Burrow, like I was saying earlier, but the Bengals, taking the win over the Titans, they're really showing that they're a competitive team, I think. And I wouldn't be surprised if they string together a couple more victories here before the season winds down.
And they are kind of a feel good story. It's nice to always see those teams, especially when you're the first pick in the draft. That whole worst team, turning around and stuff.
Well, it's clear that Burrow's not a bust, so that they should feel good and confident and comfortable with that.
Yeah. And I'll throw mine's a little. It's weird. Mine's not weird. Mine's sadder. It's obviously a Mojo Monday, but I think there's something to be said about celebrating life, and it's not about how many years you live; it's what you do in them. And Travis Roy's a living example of that. I don't know if you ever saw the E60 on him. It's unbelievable. He played hockey at BU, Boston University, and I want to say it was the first 15 seconds of his first shift his freshman year. He went in to play a puck around the boards, and his neck went right in. I think he fractured 4 vertebrae, if I remember the story correctly. Was paralyzed, the whole thing, and he did so much just for that community, and he passed away over this weekend. But I think, and especially you watch that documentary. Unfortunately, I never had the pleasure of meeting him, but I think you'd see it, and I highly recommend everyone to watch it. There's some really, really cool stuff there in that video. But I think he was the type of person to that point that would want to celebrate life and celebrate what he did in his life, and he did so much for that community with disabilities, right? And it was incredible. Just helping people that are paralyzed, etc. And I think. You want to celebrate that. So I know it's a little bit of a maybe an interesting twist on Mojo Monday, but I think one nonetheless worth celebrating.
Yeah, puts it in perspective. So that's a good one.
Absolutely. Well, we want to thank everyone for. Oh, look at this! Monday Night Football is starting off, so we want to thank everyone for watching tonight. Real quick, we gotta give ourselves a little love though. If you want to check us out, and this is cool too because we're on YouTube now and Facebook. If you want to check us out on Twitch, I gotta update these graphics. But if you want to check us out on Twitch, you can give us a follow to the heart to the left. Subscription to the right, and it's free if you have Amazon Prime to subscribe to us on Twitch, but it's only $4.99 for a month. If not, and you get some cool stuff doing that. And then check us out on social media at _get sidetracked, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And then check us out on Spotify and iTunes for all the audio episodes. You can check all that cool stuff out. Like I said, there's a Twitch thing. I know. Got to do an update. Got to do an update here on these graphics, Zach. But check us out on the website too at www.get-sidetrack.com. And hey, while you're at it, if you're on the website, hey, there's some cool stuff on the store, right? The holidays are right around the corner. I'm going to keep saying that for 2 months. So I got to change up my material. But check us out on the website as well for all sorts of cool stuff that you can rock all 4 seasons. So this is a lot of fun. We got the great John Henry coming on the show tomorrow. I didn't tell you that. We got Johnny Boy coming on tomorrow. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll do some more vending. Well, hey, you know, the 2 bottom feeders in the fantasy world, we're going to do some venting tomorrow, Zach. So we're going to have some fun fantasy football chatter. And
I've lost 2 in a row, so I need some venting myself.
Hey, we can talk. We'll talk. Maybe we should get some cigars or something. That'd be fun.
Perfect.
That'd be fun. Yeah. So we'll be back on the air tomorrow at 7:00 Eastern time, and I'll actually be, getting our production on, so we're not on at 7:20 this time. We want to thank everyone for a lot. The chat was great. We had a lot of great people in there tonight. This was a lot of fun. So we'll see everyone tomorrow in the living room at 7:00. But Zach, any departing words before you get out there?
Well, we'll see. Our defense needs to step up tonight. So go Giants.
Let's see what just happened here. I'll tell you real quick.
Oh, I'm watching. I have it on my phone.
All right. We'll turn around. It's only going to be good from here. All right. But we'll see.